Behavior as communication is a key concept, I think, in inclusion. It's exciting for me because we actually know this.
It's a way for students to tell us that something is happening, that something's not working, that something isn't right? And so, when you get to the point of challenging behavior, it's kind of like the last straw, like someone listened to me.
Some of the words used to describe my behavior has always been disruptive and careless.
Non-teachable, problem child. It made me feel like I was not teachable, like I was a disruption, like I was an annoyance, like I shouldn't be there.
It made it hard to actually find your own identity other than just what somebody else calls you.
When our story about ourselves in relation to our greater context of school is that of a lack of success, then my story or my legacy associated with school is that I can't do it.
As adults, when we think about our situations, we would never want to enter into a new situation where people were focused on the things that we can't do or couldn't do. We want to start with what we do well, and every child has something that they do well.
If we want to think about challenging behavior, we need to think beyond the actions that we observe, because the reality is that behaviors are symptomatic of something else.
Instead of thinking this child's giving me a hard time, we think this child's having a hard time. How can I support them? And we wonder, then we start asking questions because we're curious. We say, what's getting in their way?
I try to find out if they've eaten today, if they need a drink or they need a break. And then I usually try to get them settled down talking about what they like to do.
Your focus needs to be settling things down and coming back to a level where they can engage and then connect and talk about how maybe next time what could be different, and acknowledging that what could be different isn't just in them.
We look at, what's the context, what's the community, what's the classroom, the peers, the teacher, the instruction, the time of day. How do we adjust the soil so that the flowers can bloom or the student can be successful?
In order to allow children to be included in every activity in the classroom, we need a lot more education for our teachers.
When kids, their world becomes more chaotic, the adults in their world can co-regulate and lend their calm. But if our educators are burnt out and feeling unsupported themselves, they don't have that much calm to lend.
How do we use resources that include people, time, and funding to support a community, which includes a teacher, but part of that has to be collaboration?
The way we shift the culture of seeing the student as a problem is by being curious.
Having humility and asking questions and knowing that you might get something wrong, but that's okay.
We want to be able to see the child for who they are, what they bring to a situation, what their strengths are.
To actually listen to them, to what they might want to do, or a full group discussion on what they're going to do instead of it just being one way or the highway.
We understand and we know that the kinds of supports that benefit one student benefit many students.
If you can get other kids to help that child and that child to help other kids, that's what makes it inclusive.
How we engage with kids, the language that we use, how we empower them to have control over their own behavior and learning and identity development is central to all that we do.
Every day when I go to work, I go there with a mindful thinking that someone else is trusting me, their story. So at the end of the day, I ask myself if I listen to the story with care and respect, or if I could change something.